Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle. I'm sorry, I've just always wanted to say that, and I've never had the social permission to do so. So, Bionicle was a toy line that was devised for LEGO. It ran from 2001 to 2008, and it came from the mind of this art director. His name is Christian Faber, where he had a brain tumor, and that brain tumor inspired this whole thing. It has a great emphasis on mythology and lore. Lore so impenetrable that I will try to explain it within 15 minutes or die trying. What is this lore? Well, let's get into it right now. Click. Alright, so we have this guy. His name is Mata Nui. He is the god of the Bionicle universe, and he created this island, which is also called Mata Nui. I'm sorry, it doesn't get any better than this. So Mata Nui the god makes Mata Nui the island. Who lives on Mata Nui the island? These are the Matoran. They live on the Mata Nui island. They worship the god Mata Nui. And there are two main guys that we're going to focus on this presentation. This is Matoro, he is a translator. This is Takua, he's a historian. You know, they're two liberal arts majors. They're wonderful, I like them very much. They're very cute. Who leads the Matoran? It's the Turaga. And the main Turaga is this guy, his name is Vakama. So Turaga are kind of like the village elders. They're very tribal, you see, they all dance around in their little jungles and stuff. And of course, every story needs a villain, is Makuta. So, Makuta is the evil brother of Mata Nui. And what he did before the story started was he put Mata Nui to sleep. So at the start of the story, God is asleep. And the whole goal is for these guys, the Toa, whose coming was foretold by the Turaga, to come and wake him up. And Takua, he witnesses this. Takua's kind of the eyes of the story because he's a historian, right? And it's really cool. Makuta symbolizes nihilism, so Takua watches as he confronts the Toa, and he's like, "You cannot defeat me, for I am nothing." Bionicle has some really good background slides, really good layout design. I just wanted people to appreciate the atmosphere, because I think that was the driving part in its popularity. So, to understand, to recap, right, we have an island, and there's a sky, and there's a sea. And you might be asking me, Shoba, why is this important? Well, it's going to get a lot more complicated a lot quickly. So I need you to remember these salient concepts, because they're not going to hold. Alright, so the next year of the story focuses on Makuta unleashing these insect alien bug things. And their goal is to clean the island. They're called the Borak. They need to clean the island. It must be clean. And they insist that the Toa are their brothers for some reason. And of course, Vakama knew about all of them. Alright, so participating in the war against the Borak are Matoro and Takua. You know, these two liberal arts majors, they get drafted into the war, and they're like, okay, we're gonna fight anyway. And they're wonderful. I really love them for that. The Toa, they actually win the war. So they defeat the Borak, and then they become powered up by this substance called energized protodermis. Remember this name? It will not be relevant again until 9 years later. And so the whole theme is that you have little people that are rising up to fulfill their destiny and to figure out what they really are. But the Matoran believe that it's still their duty to be protected by the Toa. But the line between Matoran and Toa gets blurred in the next story year, where Takua bums around and he finds a mask of light. Now, when in Bionicle you find a mask, it always confers power. Takua's mask does not fit him. It's blue, it's ugly, it's really weird. And he finds this other mask. And he is told by Vakama, who knew that this was going to happen, third time, it will not be the last, that he needs to find a seventh Toa, and that this Toa of light is going to defeat Makuta for real, once and for all. And so he goes on this quest with his best friend Jala all around the island trying to find the seventh Toa. I don't know why they lived here for 1,000 years. You'd think they would have met him by now. And so to stop them, Makuta unleashes his sons, the Rakshi, these lizard Grim Reaper kind of things to stop them all. And the Rakshi end up killing Jala. And in that moment, Takua realizes, oh, I'm the seventh Toa. So he takes off his mask and he abandons his name Takua and he takes on the name Takanuva and he gets a new body that fits him more and he's like, oh, this is it. This is who I'm meant to be. And of course, this whole thing is a transgender allegory. Bionicle is an inherently queer series. I really like it for that. So, of course, Takanuva, the Toa of Light, is able to beat Makuta and destroy his body, and they make a discovery, because Makuta's lair is kind of underneath the island, and inside Makuta's lab is a second island, which Vakama, of course, knew about. Okay, so get ready. You're not ready for this, right? Underneath Mata Nui, there's this cord, and you go down the cord, and there's this second cave inside with its own artificial sky and clouds. And inside that, there's a city on an island called Metru Nui. And that's not even the craziest thing that happens because Vakama then tells the Toa, you're not even the first Toa. What? Unbelievable. So, what's going on? Vakama's like, I was here before you. Okay, flashback, 1,000 years ago, all of the Matoran, they lived in this city, right? They didn't even know there was an island above them. They thought this was normal, including Takua, including Matoro, and they were still doing their liberal arts careers in the city, which it makes more sense, right? And Vakama was there too, except he wasn't a Turaga, he was a Matoran. See, the city of Metru Nui 1,000 years ago was being besieged by all sides, and Toa were going missing, and Matoran were going missing, and eventually, there's only one Toa left. His name is Likan. He splits up his power, and he gives it to Vakama and 5 other Matoran and turns them into Toa. So Vakama used to be a Toa, and he had to foil the plan of Makuta, who was masquerading as the city's most prominent political figure. Go figure. So what is Makuta's plan this time, 1,000 years ago? It's to A, enslave the Matoran, B, make them forget who they are, and C, put Mata Nui to sleep, right? The inciting incident of the story. He completes 2 of these goals. He does put Mata Nui to sleep, and he does make the Matoran forget their memories with his dark magics. But he does not enslave them, because Vakama is there to stop them. Of course, there is the minor problem of a giant cataclysm basically affecting every single continent in the Matoran universe when Mata Nui is put to sleep. This will have consequences going forward, but we don't need to talk about it now. Okay, 2005 story arc is completely irrelevant, so we're just going to skip it. But I just want to note that Matoro knew about the city the whole time, right? I mentioned Makuta used his dark magic to wipe the minds of the Matoran so that they would not remember the city. Matoro was told about this. The Turaga made a conscious effort to not tell anyone but Matoro, and he had to keep this to himself, because he's like, I can't even trust anyone with this. Alright, so present day, the Matoran, they all move back from the island to the city, right? So now they're living underground. And that is there where they find that Mata Nui, their god, is dying, and only a mask of life can revive him. There's only one of them, and it's on the island of Voya Nui. I'm sorry, they all end with Nui. The Toa Nuva tried to stop the Paraka. These bad guys, they're going after the Mask of Light as well. They fail miserably. So someone has to go stop the Paraka and get the Mask of Life and revive God, basically. And it comes down to 6 Matoran and Takanuva. And Takanuva cannot follow them for reasons I don't have time to get into because I only have 15 minutes. So it's just 6 Matoran. What are they going to do? The Paraka beat the Toa Nuva, while the Matoran get hit by lightning. And they turn into Toa. Look at this, it's Matoro. He becomes a Toa. This Jala, he becomes a Toa. And you get to be a Toa, and you get to be a Toa, and everyone gets to be a Toa. And Matoro is chosen when he finally finds the Mask of Life. The Mask of Life calls out to him, like he feels, oh, this one trusts me. Because the Mask of Life, it's sentient, and it hates everybody. Because they're all coveting it for their own selfish reasons. But Matoro is selfless. Matoro is a good guy. So the Mask of Life is like, okay, you are now my favorite boy. I like you. But to preserve itself, because it's still being pursued by these villains, it goes under the sea. Also, there is a green bat in the Paraka's lair. It breaks during the battle and it screams. Why is the bat screaming? Who knows? Yo-Yo Paraka. Alright, so this is the map of the world as it looks now. And look at how just messed up it is. We have an island of Mata Nui, and then we have a city underneath, and then there's a southern continent, but during the Great Cataclysm, right, I said things about dislodge. Yeah, this entire chunk fell up from the Great Cataclysm. You'll notice this conspicuously Voya Nui-shaped hole here. And now it's sitting on the surface. And the Matoran kind of go like, whoop, like this. It's a weird journey. And now they dive back down to the city of Mari Nui. So there are Matoran living under the sea as well, where they are overlooking something called the Pit. And the Pit is like the Bionicle jail, where all the worst villains are, right? And they also, of course, covet the Mask of Life. Who guards the Pit? It's this guy. It's a robot named Mexilos. Except not really, because Mexilos is being possessed by Makuta. You will remember that the Paraka had a weird green bat, and when it broke, it screamed. Yeah, that was Makuta's spirit. I said Takanuva destroyed his body, not his spirit. So now the Mexilos robot is haunting Matoro like a ghoul. See, Matoro has to stop the prisoners of the Pit from getting the Mask of Life, and he resorts to increasingly desperate measures. And Makuta is such a terrible guy about this. He's like, oh, Matoro, you're so evil. Even I wouldn't do that, Matoro. You suck, Matoro. And Matoro's like, I can't take this anymore. So he confides in Jala. He goes, man, I've been like holding this out on my own for all of these years. I knew about Metru Nui. I didn't tell anyone. Maxilos is Makuta. I don't know if I can tell you. And Majala's like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but I trust you. I believe in you. You're my brother. We're going to make it work out. And Matoro's like, okay, I know what I have to do. And then Mana Nui dies. So God is dead. And when God dies, everyone dies. Cataclysms happening, earthquakes shattering, the sky is falling. And Matoro knows what he needs to do in that moment. He puts on the mask of life. And so all of his life energy is draining out of him in that moment, and it's going in to God, basically, to give him just a couple more hours left to live, because he is the mask's favorite boy. And in that moment, when he is being overwhelmed with the power of all the universe, Matoro has one request of the Mask of Life. And he's like, can you do this one thing for me? And the Mask of Life is like, I hate everybody, so usually no, but I will make one exception for you. What do you want? And Matoro goes, save my friends. So it teleports his friends over to dry land, and they're not in danger anymore. But the Toanuvas certainly are. Okay, so to recap, right? Voya Nui is here. It broke off from the southern continent in the Great Cataclysm when Mana Nui went to sleep. There's now a cord that connects it to Mari Nui, and then Matoro falls down this, and into a third secret swamp thing. And inside here is the heart of Mana Nui. At last, the Karda Nui. And so it is there that the final battle takes place. The Toa Nuva are given a checklist of things they need to do. They know it is now or never. We are waking up Mana Nui with the time that Matoro has bought us, or we are not waking him up at all. So this checklist entails unleashing the Bow Rock. Remember the cleaning guys and wait, but they nearly destroyed the villages. Like, why would they do that? Well, I guess no one lives on the island anymore, so we will unleash them. They still don't know why. And then they go down to Karda Nui, where Makuta has also sent his best eunuchs and lieutenants there to try to stop the Toa. There's an epic battle. Takanuva shows up to sort of save everybody in the last hour. They reunite the mask with the heart of Mana Nui, and boom! There's an energy storm, and everyone is getting killed. Makuta sent his eunuchs there to die, and they're all getting zapped with lightning. Takanuva whisks everyone out of there, and finally, after all of this, Mana Nui is reawakened. Psych! Surprise, you fools! You idiots! He's a giant robot! He's a giant, massive robot! It's this big! It could piss on the moon! Okay, so this is the chart that I have shown you so far that explains the geography of the Matoran universe, right? But there's one thing that I didn't really frame this with. All of the stories in the Bionicle universe happen inside a giant, massive robot. And if that doesn't make sense to you, then think of it like this. Voya Nui is his stomach. The cord, his intestines. Karda Nui, his heart. Metru Nui, his brain. And the island of Mana Nui is a mask. Thank you, random fan artist on Reddit. I love this illustration. So the robot wakes up, and finally it can complete its mission, and psych, it was taken over by Makuta. So remember when I said Makuta has no body, only a spirit? In the brief seconds when Mana Nui, the god, died, before Matoro put on the mask, the core processor of the robot was unguarded. Makuta slips inside and replaces Mana Nui's consciousness with his own, and then jettisons Mana Nui's soul, which he has stuffed inside the Mask of Life 5 Nights at Freddy's style. And it lands on this desert planet called Barra Magna. And there, Mana Nui learns the big lore dump that we've been dancing around. And it's this. There used to be a planet named Spherus Magna. It had something called energized protodermis. Remember the thing I told you to keep in your mind? Over-mining of the energized protodermis caused the planet to fragment into 3 pieces. And as a contingency, like a Hail Mary, if you will, the inhabitants built this giant robot, the great spirit of their civilization, that would go to different worlds and alien planets and survey their ecologies and civilizations to find some way that they could magically reform the planet. And you might be thinking, well, this is a stupid planet, it'll never work. It works. The Great Spirit robot, after I think 100 million years, finds the secret to reforming the planets and is actually on its way back before it's struck by a computer virus called Makuta, and it crashes into the sea. A computer virus, or, if you will, a brain tumor. So now, that brain tumor is coming to get him. And Mana Nui, he used to be this arrogant god. He paid no attention to his mitochondria. They were his powerhouse. But how often do you think about your mitochondria? But he has to work with them now. And he finds on Baramagna a prototype Great Spirit robot that he can now use to complete his goals. So, having unlocked this knowledge again, he continues with the reformation of the planet. He's pulling the chunks together, and Makuta comes, and there's a giant battle on the ground. Makuta sends his sons, right? The Rakshi, the Grim Reaper lizards, and the Toa are fighting them, and they're all going at it. And then Takanuva assists one of the Toa in destroying all of the Rakshi at once with this massive power blast. And Makuta is like, what? How could you do this? You're a lesser being. I do not accept that like a lesser being could harm me. And the lesson of Bionicle is this, right? No matter how insignificant or small you are, you are not meaningless. Everything matters. And Makuta, unable to comprehend this, does not see the fragment of planet that brains him in the skull. Makuta falls and dies. He will not reawaken. So Mada Nui finalizes the reforming of the planets, and everyone can live together in harmony. The ecology is all reformed, and everyone lived happily ever after. The end. I am sure you have questions. I will be at my booth, G9, in the vendor hall to explain them. Thank you very much for your time.